Hello. We lost Minnie. So, on the topic of rejection, as that last video I mentioned got me to thinking about, it directly relates to whether or not we go out and date right away or not again. And I'll explain to you why I think that. And by the way, I rewatched the video. As I told you, that's my process. I make a video and I rewatch it right then to make sure it's not a huge disaster. And then I don't look at it again, and then I post it, and I watch it when it's on the YouTube, thinking that maybe helps or something. I don't know. But I just rewatched it, and I know I got my words tripped up, but I'm choosing to keep the video as is and run it because I think that I hope you got my point anyway. So this would be running the day after the one yesterday. So yesterday, I hope you got my point. And in speaking of rejection, but I know my words are trippy, so je m'excuse I got a little bit all wrapped up in my own head. Speaking of rejection, though, got me to thinking, I think that's why many go right back out and date again. Because they have to heal and fill that hole, and they have to hear good words, and they have to have somebody pay attention to them, and just tell them they look pretty, and take them to dinner, and I don't know, you know what I mean? Call them. They have to have their phone going off. They're used to engaging with their phone with somebody. They're used to somebody calling them. You know, I love being alone, but I don't think something caught my eye over there, a shadow. Must have been a bird or something. I don't know. Something caught my eye. I like being alone, but I try not to be like the be alone salesperson. But I am going to go through a few things that if you're not used to being alone, that maybe will pleasantly surprise you about it. I can't say whether or not somebody dates right away. And we've all been one way or the other in our lives. I always thought I had to be with somebody. I had a 2-year boyfriend in 3 years in high school, a 3-year boyfriend, and then the college, and then, you know what I mean? And it kind of one rolled right into another. And I think that came from, I didn't used to think I could be alone. And now that I'm older, I've realized that there's a lot to it. And like I said, I can't advise you as to whether or not you date. But I can tell you that I encourage you to view your alone time as a time where you can reflect on maybe what happened and try to figure out what happened, so that before you jump back out there, so that you don't pick the same person again, so that you're not vulnerable. Right now, you are at your most vulnerable. Now, if you feel that you want to get online and do 6-hour-long dates in 1 week just to keep your brain off the narcissist and have a coffee with one person, that as long as you're not leading anybody on and you say, you know what, it was nice to meet you, I don't think that we're feeling a connection, and then you move on or whatever. But if you feel the need to do that, that's fine, just to pass time, as long as you're kind and open and honest with people. But I think if you were to jump right back into another relationship, you may be in danger of carrying a lot with you that happened with the narcissist. What happened to you was heavy. Heavy. And if you move from one person right to the other, I can't imagine. I've taken a lot of time, and I'm not done taking it. I understand that some people don't want to be alone. And they are feeling that sense of rejection. They need to be healed. They don't know where to start to learn to heal themselves or to try to heal themselves. Sometimes it is very much easier to go out and meet somebody else, and they'll make me feel better. They'll love me. They'll make me feel loved. Many people have this feeling in common, and I think that the fear of being alone is what forces many people to stay with the narcissist. They don't want to get back out there. You know, I'll just stay. I know him already. I love him. You know, I'll go back out and I'll find somebody. You hear that expression all the time. Or you'll have to train somebody else, or You'll have to deal with somebody else's problems, or you'll have to, but we're not talking about leaving the seat up. This is like a big thing that they have. To just learn to live with it because you don't want to be alone. So once you are away from them, do you date again? In order to make space for new things to come into your life, you must create that space for them to land. Being alone affords you a zillion opportunities in life, a huge palette that you did not have before. And you might say, well, what do you mean? My life was the same before. Yeah, but I bet if a promotion came up in work and you're in with the narcissist, you're not going to take it if it means you have to move away. If, I don't know, your dream boat was around the corner at the coffee shop that you would have been at having your morning coffee, but instead you're in your apartment or house with the narcissist because you've allowed him to stay in your life, you're missing your guy. I mean, I think this way. Every opportunity missed when you are with your narcissist, entangled with your narcissist, staying with your narcissist, you could have been alone in the world. It doesn't mean you should leave them and go get another person. But to be alone on the planet for a little while and know that you have 100% control over your life right now. I'm not saying if you have children, obviously we're parents, but you know what I'm saying. There's nothing that could influence you at this point except yourself and your life. That's a powerful place to be. And I mean, it's quite peaceful. And I just think that we should breathe that in. It is my opinion that it is vital to dissect what happened, and we should all be able to stand alone. I think that we should all be able to stand alone. I make room, like I said, if you're pulling your hair out and you're like, I just have to stop looking at my phone for him. So line yourself up 5 coffee dates. Just be honest with them before you leave and don't ghost them and all that. Just say, you know what, I'm not really feeling the connection, but you're a nice guy. If I meet somebody, I'll give them your number. That's a nice way to put them down. I mean, not put them down, but to just say, this was fun. You know, you start out saying, hi, how is it going for you? I'm assuming that you meet people online because I don't go out anymore, and I think online's become a normal thing. You sit down immediately, you know it's not going to go anywhere, you're just trying to spin your wheels a little bit, and if you like them, talk to them, then you do see them again, but don't make it be a thing that you're going out to find another guy or gal. And I worry if the person you go have coffee with is a well-skilled narcissist, they could suck you right back in because of the vulnerability that you're feeling that made you feel like you needed to get out and stop looking at your phone. It could be another devil in disguise. So unless you feel equipped to deal with that should it come your way, I wouldn't get back out there. Like, I dabbled a little bit, had a couple of, like, you know, whatever, and I can feel them. I see them now coming. I'm very well equipped now to be able to handle myself and know if it's something unhealthy in front of me. And so I think once you have your boundaries in place and you know you won't move them and you know you will speak up if something isn't right, that's awkward. You're on date 1 or maybe date 2 and you just don't like something they said on the phone or a way that they were, or they weren't in line with what, you know, whatever it is. You got to say those things. If you feel that you can do all that, then I guess, yeah, then you're probably ready. But you have to call them out. You can't, and I don't mean nasty, but just like, you know, I told you that I wanted to take it slow. You're talking about this, this, and this. Again, I'm using that example because I've used it in the past. because that's where I gave up my boundaries to my narcissist. I'm very careful about that now. And if you express to someone, for example, on the first date, I'm really moving slowly these days, so I don't get out much. You can figure out a way to say it. You can see what they do with that information. If the next 24 hours they bombard you, that's kind of a red flag narcissist alert. They smashed your boundary, they ignored what you said, or they didn't hear you, or they didn't care. It's not cute. It's not cute. It's annoying. So you just have to make sure you do yourself some research and know what you're getting back out there into. And when you are alone, again, I'm not the be alone salesman, but there is zero anything negative that can be here with you. Think about that. It's me. It's my dog. Sometimes I have friends over. Sometimes I have family over. I can play what I want, eat what I want, do what I want. There's zero stress in my home. Zero yelling, zero arguing, zero feeling of this at all. I never look at my phone to see who's calling or who's because I'm not in a place with anybody that it matters. And it is phenomenally liberating to not have to think about it. It doesn't stink. And I think a lot of people are addicted to having their phone interaction with people, somebody who calls them, somebody who texts them, somebody who says good morning to them. Some of those things are odd at first when you have silence all day. You could have silence. I mean, there could be days you don't talk to a human if you so choose. It's very easy not to. I think that's euphoria. I think it's euphoria. And I encourage you to view your alone time as the euphoria it can be. Relax, read, binge watch, exercise, reflect, knit, listen to music. It's your life, your time. So I wouldn't be so quick to cut off the alone time and get back out there. It's precious if you give it a shot. I'm not even kidding. It is wonderful. And you can get things done that you've always wanted to do. I think if you were allow yourself to be alone, if you are a giver, which most victims of narcissistic abuse are givers, then you spent a lot of your time on your narcissist. As you rewind, I'll leave you a second, right? I mean, all of our time, everything. We're running all around, we're cutting off our own activities, we're giving them everything. Do you want to jump back into something like that? And if you do, you say you're like, I had a friend once who she wanted to be married, she wanted to be, okay, so she went after looking for that. And if that's where you are and you're like, but I really would love to be in a relationship, that's fine. Taking 6 months or 3 months or whatever it takes is not the end of anything. You're not that much of a rush. You can take time for yourself to make sure that you have the tools in place to go forward. And if you encounter another one, your vulnerability is at least healed enough that you can even begin to entertain somebody else's company. Because I'm telling you, if they're a skilled narcissist, you'll get sucked right back into a second relationship. And you'll be more than happy to jump in because you want anything that's going to make you stop thinking about this guy. Because he just broke your heart, the narcissist. So if you met another one and they were good, boom, whoosh, door shut, he's love bombing me. It can be very healing. It's very tricky. So I want you to keep all these things in mind should you date right away. I mean, my opinion is inherent in what I'm doing, obviously, but I can't impose my opinion upon you and say, no, I don't think you should, and I think you should be alone, because some people will go, they absolutely need to get out, and I understand that feeling too. I did that once. I made like 5 coffee dates within like a couple of weeks, and it kept my mind off. This was about 3 or 4 years ago. It kept my mind off of it. And I did exactly what I said. I would sit down and say, so how you doing? Nice to meet you. And I would say, you're a nice guy. I don't think there's a connection here, as I'm sure you know. But if I know somebody, can I give them your number? And okay, no, I'm going to go. Thank you. And I didn't eat. I wouldn't break bread. They didn't walk me to my car. It was very quick. It was painless for everybody. You know what I mean? I did that, so that's why I mentioned that. I understand that too. But to jump right back into a relationship, and it may take longer than 6 months. I said 3 and 6 months so that I didn't want to make you horrified. It might take you a year to fully understand what happened to you and unravel it all and make sense with it and learn it so that you are strong enough if it comes your way again. We tend to attract them because of our caring nature. So if you've dated one, chances are you've dated another one, or another one might be coming. Do you know what I'm saying? I've dated more than one now that I look back and made my little flow charts on my dry erase board. Amen. I just want you to be careful when deciding whether or not to get out there and date again. It's not easy, but give it some thought.